What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for joining me as always. I have been studying this Thursday night football slate since Monday night ended, and I am feeling beautiful about it. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad for the weekend. Uh, I already posted Thursday Night Football over there for all the Greenlight members on the NFL Access page just because, like I said, I've been studying it since Monday. I'm locked in. There's no way I feel like I can make it better. I will be adding a GPP to there on the site a little bit later on today. But as of right now, the faves are already up. All right. Now, I'm going to try to get through this pretty quickly, get you guys in and out. I just recorded a 12-minute long video and posted it just to find out that there was no audio. That's the most frustrating thing as a YouTuber is to record an entire video and then it not have any sound. Because I put a lot of energy into my videos. I joke around, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm upbeat. And to finish and realize, oh shit, I got to do this all again. It's kind of frustrating. But I love y'all enough to do this again, and we're going to get straight into it. GreenlightDFS.com. Welcome back. Thursday night football tonight. We have Miami traveling on over to Jacksonville, and this is going to be a solid game. Both of these defenses, let's just talk what we're looking like so far. All right. Both of these defenses are really, really bad through the air, and Miami is really bad against the ground game. Jacksonville has actually not been too bad against the ground so far this year, whereas Miami's been gashed through the air or on the ground. So on the Jacksonville side, get all the passing people you want. Go ahead and get the Jerome Robinson. You'll be good to go. On the Miami side, I do think Jacksonville gets up in this game. I do like Jacksonville more than Miami. And I think Miami's going to have to throw a ton. So obviously, Fitzmagic paired up with any of his weapons is going to be a fantastic choice. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and get straight into the slate. My favorite captain in general, because I'm not struggling for price, is probably Gardner Minshew. If I had to predict who the highest scorer on this slate is going to be, I would say Minshew. Now, the thing is, it's hard to predict who to pair him with because he spreads the ball around really, really nicely. Now, one thing I will say, and I will say this at the same time of not having a ton of Chark in like safe cash game builds. But my cash game builds have safe floors, but yet a ton of upside. Like for example, week 5 of NFL last year, you guys already know by now, 70K. It was a huge year. It was a huge season in NFL period. Won over 100,000 last year. And with that being said, every big win I had, I built for safety yet upside. So I build for a solid floor, but with the possibility of more. You feel, oh wow, I'm a poet. Anyways, so yeah, I build for floor with the possibility of more. All right, so that's pretty much what I like to do on slates, and that's my go-to. When it comes to highest score on the slate, though, it's got to be Gardner Minshew. I completely understand if you want to go a receiver here. I was looking at some builds where, because I really, really love, I have my favorite value on this slate is going to be, if I can find him. For some reason, I'm overlooking him. Let me just type him in. Is Isaiah Ford's my favorite value on the slate? I don't think you have to be as cute to put him at captain, just solely on the fact that you don't really. I mean, if you put him at captain, you're gonna have money left over regardless, because guys just aren't very expensive on this slate, and I don't think you need to do that. All right, plain and simple. But while I'm on him, Isaiah Ford is my favorite value on this entire slate. Isaiah Ford's been like second highest in snap count on this Miami offense. Like he's on the field second most on this team, damn near. I mean, I think it's Devontae number one, Preston, and then Ford, but Ford is way up there. So him, Preston Williams, with the amount of snaps that they're playing and the amount of that they're on the field in general against this bad Jacksonville secondary, I think both of those guys are fantastic plays. But I'll get into Preston Williams in a second. But anyways, so yeah, Gardner Minshew is my favorite captain. Now in GPP, if you're wanting to go for straight upside, DJ Chark is my guy. All right, Chark is a guy who he hasn't been targeted a bunch this year, which is a little weird. He's been dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he is a big body that is always a touchdown threat. He's a guy who can at any moment catch a few touchdowns. Now, it scares me that I don't have a ton of exposure to him tonight because at the end of the day, this kid, the fact that he's had a couple low target games to start the year coming into this game against the bottom in the league Miami defense overall in general, they give it up to the run, they give it up to the pass, and to know the size of their cornerbacks are much smaller than Chark. It doesn't matter who they put on him. Chark is going to be much larger. He's just a much larger human being. And plain and simple, that he's going to be a red zone threat in this one big time. All right, so I mean, his chances of getting in the end zone are pretty solid in this one. All right, the only situation is that I've been dealing with is the price. You have him at 9.4 when 800 more you could go Fitzpatrick. So the safe route would be Fitzpatrick and have both quarterbacks on the slate because like I said, both secondaries are horrible. So getting both quarterbacks are completely fine with me and that is the ideal way to go. But Chark on that Jacksonville side as captain is very interesting to me and I do think he has the potential to break the slate. He could go absolutely crazy. But remember, he has the potential to do that. Do I think he's going to do that? I think he is fadeable. You can fade him, all right? But you're fading him at your own risk because I do think if you're playing multi-entry especially, you have to have a solid amount of Chark in GPP for sure because he's the highest upside guy in this on this slate. Like he has the potential to really break it, especially like I said, these Miami corners are just really small. There's a lot of jump ball opportunities here for Chark. So I want to make that clear first and foremost because I'm not going to have him in my core, but Chark is in my core for GPP. He is a guy I really, really love. Now on the other side, like I said, I will be playing a ton of quarterback in this one. I want both quarterbacks in this one to just start off with. Plain and simple because, first of all, we have money because the value is ridiculous. Second of all, both these quarterbacks, it's going to be a shootout. Both secondaries are atrocious. Neither one should have many issues moving the ball down the field. I do think that that Minshew is able to get Jacksonville up at home in Jacksonville, and Fitzpatrick's going to do a lot of throwing. But yeah, I love both quarterbacks in this one, and that's the ideal way to go in my opinion. My favorite guy to pair up with Fitzpatrick, seeing that they're, in my opinion, going to be the down team. The player that I'm wanting to pair up with is, like I said, the value. All right, let me go ahead and put him in here. This is my locked value of the slate. I'm playing Isaiah Ford because plain and simple, the amount of snaps that he plays in this offense is ridiculous for a guy who is only 3K. Like he's a free square in this one, in my opinion. He's an amazing option. I absolutely love him, and he's a guy that I'll have a ton of exposure to on this slate. And this is the exact reason why I don't have a ton of Chark because the value at that like the options that we have at that position is just why spend 9.4 when you got guys who could possibly have a good chance of matching him and could have a good chance of possibly getting more targets in general. The other guys that I'm interested in on the Miami team, well, let me start with Jacksonville. James Robinson is the guy that I'm super interested in for Jacksonville as well. And no, I'm not worried about pairing Minshew with him because that would just mean that I'm getting every touchdown in this game pretty much. James Robinson is their pretty much bell cow for Jacksonville. He's the guy who's going to get a good amount of touches here. And against Miami, I believe they're giving up over 5 yards per rush. They're struggling badly. And it's just a fantastic situation here for him. At only 7.8, that's another reason why. It's like, why not pick Robinson in a game where I believe they should be up and he should get some good amount of touches and could possibly get in the end zone one or twice over a guy who's a lot more money. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work out great. But yeah, James Robinson's a fantastic option. He's a guy I really want exposure to. On that Miami side as well, Fitzpatrick has made it known that Gesicki is one of his favorite targets. I'm perfectly fine with going here. I lean Preston Williams slightly solely on the fact that the matchup advantage here is leaning Preston Williams. Williams is a guy with a bunch of size as well, kind of like the Chark situation. Why I like Chark on the Jacksonville side is because Miami's secondary is too short. Chark is too big of a body to handle. Preston Williams, same situation. He's a big body, and he's a guy that should get some advantage here against Jacksonville's secondary. And like I said, both secondaries are horrible. You can't go wrong with really any receivers on either side. But Preston Williams is a guy that I'm really, really interested in here. All right, Chenault is another Jacksonville guy that I'm interested in. He's been getting some solid targets. I will not be playing any defense or any kickers on this slate solely on the fact that you don't need to. I'm not going to have a bunch of Eifert. Keelan Cole is a guy that I definitely have interest in for Jacksonville. He's a guy that I'll have a lot of exposure to. He's just very, very cheap. He's been getting solid targets, playing very solid. And like I said, matchup, I mean, can't get much better than that. I'm not going to have any run game on the Miami side solely because Jacksonville's actually been doing a pretty solid job versus the run so far this year. And at the same time, I also believe Miami should be behind. So it's more of a passing game script for Miami. So yeah, I want the pass catchers for Miami, predominantly Isaiah Ford, Preston Williams, and then Devontae Parker, kind of in that order, point per dollar wise. And then Gaskin. I really like Gaskin as well. Um, but that's about it. Minshew and Fitzpatrick are my main go-tos. I do prefer Robinson over Chark and Cash. I prefer Chark and GPPs. A lot of people pretty much just play GPPs on showdowns. That's completely fine with me. It doesn't matter to me like which ones you play. And if you're playing GPP, I prefer Chark. Cash games, I prefer Robinson. Solely on the price difference. And if you go Chark over Robinson, I mean it's a little harder to build and it doesn't fall together as perfectly as if you go Robinson over Chark. Plain and simple. All right. So good luck, y'all. Greenlightdfs.com. Like I said, Showdown's already posted at Greenlight on the NFL Access page. I'll be adding a GPP sometime today. Other than that, good luck, y'all. I hope you kill it. And I'm out.